Conversations around prejudice against women have recently become rampant, but many are concerned about action. We will see one person who is taking some kind of action on Ad House today. Welcome to the show. I'm Neo Taigbe, standing in for your regular host.
My horizon on humanity is enlarged by reading the writers of poems, seeing a painting, listening to some music and some opera. It enriches me as a human being. The artist does not work for the other artists. He works for the people.
We'll begin with this exhibition by Juliet Maja-Pearce, who wants the world to take definite action to end all manner of prejudice against women by choice and not as an option.
It's a word that rang into the consciousness of gender social relations in 2012 and 2019. Juliet Maja-Pearce feels it's about time the world overcomes misogyny as a lifestyle choice, and it's not an option.
This particular collection, I have titled it Overcoming Misogyny, because with much research and understanding of the issues concerning gender relations in Nigeria, I have come to the conclusion that perhaps there is a lot of misogyny in practice. It's an unconscious thing where people hate women, men hate women, women hate women, and they don't know why. And so if you begin to research deep into our culture in the way we relate to each other, we'll find some of the reasons there. And in order to overcome it, we need to be conscious of it so that we can stop doing those things or reacting in that manner so that we can effect a change.
This exhibition is about dislike of or contempt for women or ingrained prejudice against women. That's what, in essence, misogyny means. And that's what the artist has tried to address frontally with this exhibition.
Traditionally, you do not have women in a masquerade clan or the masquerade group. And so when you have to demonstrate masquerades representing women, even a man is asked to carry it. It's a taboo for women to even carry the masquerade that represents them. And if women are unable to represent themselves, even at that sphere, in that stage of our living, how much more difficult it will be for us to understand that women need to be present at the decision-making table. So I have painted my masquerades as young girls wearing the masquerade to get us to understand that we need to enter a new thinking, a new era. It is time to incorporate all other members of our society and bring all of us to the decision table so that when we all as a collective unit make a decision, we will be obliged to carry it out. There is no need for a certain group to make a decision and expect us who do not agree with that decision to go along with it. The irony of it is in societies where you have the general meeting of the village and it's a meeting of only the men and the women are not there. Ironically, the decisions they make there concerning everyday life of the people of the village is now sent to the women to implement and teach the children. How can the women who were not part of that decision, we are not even talking whether they agree with that decision, are expected to now put it to practice and then implement it and teach their children to carry it on. And so we have a divide.
Make no mistakes about it. This artist has always been a champion for her gender, hailing the good and screaming about the bad. In fact, her canvas is all about women. Another feminist? Go figure. But in these images which depict women either praying, running or wailing, she's making suggestions on how this despicable act can be dealt with.
I have done a collection of praying women because I did an exhibition in 2007 or thereabouts, and it was praying for Nigeria just at the peak when we had the very first bomb blast in the north. And a lot of Nigerian women prayed. I have painted that series to, honor them. Until now, as I speak, Nigerian women are serious prayer warriors. I choose to believe that perhaps the unity of this country is still intact because of the amount of prayer women in Nigeria pray for their country. And so I've painted a series in that line. The other one where you see a woman with a baby in one hand, in some other rendition of that work, she's holding with the other hand a bag full of books, papers, qualification certificates, and riding through the sun and the moon. It just shows, it's just a story to say that women are hardworking people, and despite the fact that they have to handle being mothers and wives, they manage to keep a career going, and through thick and thin, they still manage to achieve a lot. It's just celebrating the achievements and persistence of women in achieving their goals.
The over 20 works of art is a hit with the collectors, as she had buyers from the first day the show opened at the National Museum in Lagos.
Juliet is well known. She's been at the vanguard of championing the rights of women and the girl child in the society. And we realized that she has continued with the collection of work for this show. The works, as usual, tapped into the fabrics of her own culture as an African and, of course, as Igbo, because it addressed a lot of contested issues like the Masquerade issue, where Juliet tried to project the role of the women in the society through that masquerade culture. You realize that we have maiden masquerades, which are worn and performed by the male. You wonder why the female cannot, perform masquerades made for them, the maiden masquerades. And you realize also that women are not admitted into the masquerade guild. These are signposts of misogyny, you would say, in the culture. So it's as if the culture is set up to undermine the place of the women.
Over time, I have actually watched Juliet Maja-Pearce, the exhibitor of today. She's actually in a level of her own. She's worked so hard, and she has experimented so widely in the visual arts. Her foray into printmaking, in painting, drawing, watercolor, and a host of other genres that she has actually worked in. She's a philosopher and a social critic in her works. She is one of those who believe in the ideals of a good society, and she does not mince words or minds colors, or minds her concepts in her paintings, and in her drawings, and in her pentagraphs. So she's those ideals, she portrayed them in her work. For instance, the rights of women. This exhibition is about overcoming misogyny, and she's worked on it so hard that the women of our time, particularly in our climate, will actually, seeing this exhibition, will believe in herself.
Stop hating each other as women. Stop hating women as men. Treat all of us equal. Give every child, irrespective of their gender, equal opportunities. Okay? And perhaps we will find a way forward in our nation. Nobody is unqualified or because of their gender to be anything. We are all where we are by the grace of God, and I believe that girls have just as much ability as boys have to become great in their lives.
This exhibition shows what everyone can do or is unconsciously doing to encourage acts of harmful widowhood practices, sexual abuse, or other acts of violence against females in the society. This artist feels if the world agrees that the act is inhumane, then walking the talk needs to yield more results. A reason her canvas has become her voice.